Welcome back to Game 5, winners bracket final. Raz, break down the series for me, please.
Because you asked nicely, I will. Thank you very much. Flowers, on the other hand, he needs a talking to.
Very rude.
Extremely rude. So we should just talk about it because FlyQuest brought this to a Game 5. A lot of it was off the back, the ginormous back of Quad. Quad was a hero this series.
Yeah, he's been absolutely phenomenal. I know he said this before when qualifying to Worlds, but his story, for people that don't know, he bounced back and forth between DRX and Challengers, was on Nongshim, finished 9th before coming over here to play in NACL, has been absolutely lights out in this series. His Zeri performance, I was joking with Jatt going in because the league equivalent of like a baseball hitting for a cycle would be a pentakill, a quadra-kill, a triple kill, a double kill, and a single kill, and I feel like he almost got that in this game.
It was incredibly close, and this was an interesting one because they were able to win the front-to-back, even though from the draft you thought the Orange Sejuani was going to be able to win the front-to-back again and again, and this is, I believe, the replay of this final pentakill. Ashe arrow lands, Quad goes in, just perfect timing to hold this ultimate this long, flashes at just the right moment to also finish off Yeon and basically blow up the entire Team Liquid team.
It was so tough in a lot of these fights. Team Liquid initially took a team fight win, but after you saw double mortal reminder, Senna really wasn't getting any heals off there, and the front line, both Ornn, well, specifically Ornn was getting torn apart, so it was really hard for them to be able to make space for the Corki.
Yeah, and the big difference for Quad was that Zeri into the Baron when they just basically TL started it and FlyQuest finished it.
Let's zoom out a little bit though.
Let's do it.
Game 5, Team Liquid blue side, again, 5 games in a row on blue side, but also the defending champions. It's been since spring playoffs when Team Liquid lost their last series, but they lost that game 4. They lose one more, they would actually drop down into the next game and FlyQuest would have the championship finals spot secured. But this Team Liquid team, they've been good for so long.
It's been incredible. You mentioned that series in spring, the upper bracket. Since that point, that loss that they had versus FlyQuest then, they've won every series in the LCS until now. The meteoric rise of this team with the experienced players of CoreJJ and, of course, Impact really led their younger rookies. And the younger players have just been playing lights out all split long. So that success they've been riding since Spring Split has found them to this moment now.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is this is the team that I know Spawn kept telling us, like, don't hype us that hard, like, we're good, but anyone can beat us. And I think we're seeing that in this series, right? We're seeing what a lot of people were talking about in scrims with this team. They are incredibly strong. I do still think currently they're our best team. However, FlyQuest are really, really punching back.
Yes, and you can hear it. That's the big thing. I feel like the FlyQuest fans here have been really loud in supporting both Inspired, like Quad. When they got the pentakill, they were loud as hell. So, like, if we can hear it, you're damn right the players can.
And there's something about it, to me, when FlyQuest plays against Team Liquid, the rivalry that's developing specifically this year. The first series that they had in the spring playoffs, the last time Team Liquid lost a series, that was the most kills we've had in an LCS series ever. This is also just the second time in history we've had 2 pentakills in the same series, and we still have another game. We still haven't played Game 5.
Again, we need another pentakill. Set a record.
That can happen. That can happen. You're starting to see the players come out here too. And it has been just a big focus on team fighting. The last 2 games in particular, there it is. Bwipo coming out with all smiles there too. Like, the team fighting has been a big focus. It feels like, especially in that last game, you got to really see. I thought Team Liquid, from a major deficit, were trying their hardest to get the best setup possible for Yeon and APA. It just comes down to the setup.
It really does, and I'm looking at the players coming back on the stage right now, thinking about the upcoming draft. We have seen, in a very rare circumstance, one team clearly prioritize blue side and FlyQuest really wanting red side. The 6 bans this series have been locked the entire time. This guy with one ear out of his headset who's listening to us for a brief second has played Renekton 8 games in a row.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem for Team Liquid.
I was like, who is it the problem for?
9 games in a row, apparently. It was the end of his last series before the last 2 series as well, and here comes Impact as well.
Bwipo has really been scaling up this series. I feel like the last few games that he's had in team fights, it's been a real problem for the backline. something needs to be done about it. Maybe take it away.
What do we think changes in this draft?
I'm trying to think from the Team Liquid side because the pivot that FlyQuest made in the last draft, I think worked out very well for them, taking the Maokai away from UmTi. So it would most likely be in the bot lane. The Kai'Sa has not been effective in almost any of the games I've seen from Yeon, so they might change their picks there. Aside from the draft point, though, we all did predict Team Liquid to win the series.
We did.
How are you feeling about this at this moment? Because it's gone all the way to Game 5 with FlyQuest winning the last one.
No, I'm not flipping, Rez.
Are you thinking about it, though?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Should she flip? Should she flip?
Flipping.
Should she flip?
I don't give in to peer pressure. This makes me not want to flip more.
Okay, but you know what I'll do?
What are you going to do?
I'm flipping a FlyQuest.
Go FlyQuest.
I'm flipping a FlyQuest. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
Okay, give me the pitch for how FlyQuest wins this Game 5.
Well, first of all, we're going to get a Renekton again, even though we're all making the cry. But it has been, I feel like, specifically, Quad and Massu have had an amazing series. And to me, the question has been if FlyQuest was going to adapt during the draft, and they have. They moved away from the Amumu. We've seen better plays from Bwipo. I think right now we've seen a marginally stronger and stronger FlyQuest. I just think they're a better team at the moment.
Man, it is going to be so close. My original prediction was 3-2 Team Liquid, so this has gone mostly to expectations.
So you're sticking.
Well, I am going to stick with it, but when Emily asked me the question of what is going to change in draft, I actually don't entirely know for Team Liquid because they seem so set. In the first pick, Corki, it's been moderately effective. They had this early moment in Game 4 where UmTi died in a mid lane 2v3, and I think that set them behind. I think they're probably just going to think they haven't been executing and go with the same strategy once again.
That's actually, I agree with that, especially talking to these players about like what, in interviews, everyone always says like play our game and like what does that even mean? It starts in draft, but I feel like both teams have drafted what they've wanted. So I actually fully agree with that.
And looking around, we got all 10 players in seats. We got all 4 coaches with headsets on. Let's get in the draft. Casters, take it away.
Thank you very much, lounge, stage, desk, all y'all. It is time. It is time for the game that decides everything. It has been a war on Summoner's Rift today at the LCS.
And one of the big, changes that FlyQuest made in the previous game was recognizing that TL does not share this Amumu fascination that the rest of the league does. And so they actually chose the Maokai away from UmTi and then pushed him back onto the Sejuani instead. Yeah. Instead of doing the Mumu thing. And we are going to have a different top laner. So Raz's first point for FlyQuest is null and void. It's been countered in bans.
There you go. We already knew Raz was going to swap sides because Raz is the most known flip-flopper.
Well, that also does mean, though, considering the first half of the drafts have been so samey throughout the series, that Lillia that kept getting banned all the time, that's not banned.
Well, and it's really interesting because a lot of the talk about the Cloud9 versus FlyQuest series was that Cloud9 felt they could never give Lillia over to Inspired because Inspired has been so good on this style of champion, the super heavy power farming style. So TL is going to be under that same kind of impression. They're going to take it away. But this puts UmTi on a style that, quite frankly, he has not played a lot of for Team Liquid. He has very much been Mr. Maokai, Mr. Sejuani. He's been the engaged guy. He's been the supportive guy. This is him in a Morse carry role in a very pivotal Game 5 here against FlyQuest. So TL are being pushed to swap things up.
Yeah, their last one with him on the Lillia was the one against Energy where they did end up winning, and they also paired it with the Corki mid. So,
they won a lot of games.
That AP plus AD combination, Corki isn't showing quite yet, but you have to think the Corki will also show up.
It also makes you wonder, if Senna's up, well, can TL take it, or do they need more engage? Is it okay to have solo frontline for Impact? Because really, TL has been very heavily into the 2 to 3 frontliners, 2 to 3 engaged style champions, and then a couple AD carries, a couple threats, with APA and Yeon. So, this can put a kind of wrinkle in the draft where maybe you're no longer comfortable to pick Senna here.
All right, we're going to get
Cassante.
Yeah, Corki Cassante again. So Impact not going to go with the Ornn this time. He'll be back on Cassante. We've seen how well he knows this champion, how familiar he is with all of the angles, all of the plays.
So from their series
both teams had fun. Me too.
From their series versus Energy, they had this exact same opening, and then they rounded it out with Ezreal and Rell. If Team Liquid are following the exact same draft setup, the Ezreal and Rell are the look for them.
I gotta say, man, you get 17 kills on a Zeri game. You're probably picking Zeri again the next game.
Just
it
slam
looked
it.
pretty damn good for Quad. This guy, there's so much faith put in him by his teammates. You know, he is a player who has really been able to shine when they put the resources into him. And throughout playoffs, FlyQuest has really made sure to do more and more of that.
I'm just still looking at this Bwipo pick, the new Bwipo pick that is going to show up here.
Well, remember that FlyQuest has also played like this entire series on red side. Yes, we've had the early lizard locks for them most of the time, but you still have the opportunity
banger, he was right. Called it.
Save the last pick of the draft for Bwipo for something creative.
And it is going to, I think it's going to be a counter pick to determine the series because their red side is going to be full counter pick here. They already see the K'Sante, but they could very well continue to hold it here.
Yeah.
Are Team Liquid worried about any of these more fringe counter picks that he has used in the past? Looks like they are already respecting with the Garen.
Exactly. It's so interesting because obviously he's been spamming Renekton, so people are like, Renekton one trick, blah, blah, blah. This guy is known for playing the most cooked picks. He has all these crazy counters that he's going to bring out. It's going to be the Olaf, it's going to be the Rengar. Cooked in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. He's going to cook. But, you know, he's a really creative player. He really can master these different playstyles and make matchups difficult. So I'm excited to see what he will bring out. He is promoted. Respect. Started out silver. He just won his promos. I think he's got to go at least to Diamond if he beats Team Liquid. Come on, bro.
After the last game, yeah, that's like a double promotion. Those you could do double.
You're skipping divisions. He's smurfing.
Some of the other ones that he has run, you know, the Olaf, the Mordekaiser, the Darius, these types of the Urgot as well. All of these types of champions are the ones with like executes that you want to use versus K'Sante. So he's got a long list of them.
But do you want to risk it on something like that? We saw this come out earlier this week, and I do think it was from Licorice. It is really, really strong in these tank matchups. I want to say it was this exact matchup, even if I'm recalling correctly from the series. And Licorice was doing really, really well on it. You can really space these melee matchups and get grass procs from your Q. Your clone also can proc grass with its autos. So you can kind of do this like harassment style. Even though it's melee versus melee, you get 165 bonus range on the Q. So you can be so annoying in a melee matchup with this.
They really, I said Ezreal Rell to fully round it out and run it back. Oh, I'm feeling good about my odds.
This is looking pretty close, man. Let's see. All you got to do is get that last pick.
Exactly.
You said Ezreal Rell. This would be Rell Ezreal.
Oh, no!
Nice try there, kid.
I always fail on the details.
I'll give you half credit.
Okay. I'll take half credit. Come on.
Not against Wukong seems like you're setting yourself up again to have a lot of difficulty getting that good bullet time. So it is going to be Kai'Sa. I like this a lot more. It is more of a dive style comp, but you have more of that with UmTi playing the Lillia. He's going to be going into the back line. You're sending in Yeon here. You're poking down and following up with the long range from APA. But it's Yeon on this high-risk, high-reward style champion here in a pivotal game. The carries for both these teams, young carries, APA and Yeon, Quad and Massu, are going to have to step up. And I think the player that steps up the most is going to be the one that wins the game.
Man, when you've got the diving power of like a Rell and a Kai'Sa together, I love seeing Renata as the answer here for the final pick. Renata is so good at counter-engaging. The power of the hostile takeover, such a clutch tool to come out on top in those moments. I'm excited for our Game 5.
And to me, the power of the lane phase here, because Kai'Sa plus Rell is amazing later on. It's a great dive combo. It's great for team fighting later on, but the lane phase, the lane phase is not there, and Ashe Renata will brutalize them. So maybe we get our lane swap here. Team Liquid, their lane swaps are extremely good.
Honestly, they should. I think it's bad 2v2 bot lane and a bad 1v1 top lane. I think TL should be going for a lane swap here. Rell, you basically can't engage into Renata without a flash, because if you just go for the W crashdown, you can just get handshake out of that. You can get thrown back. It is tough.
I hate to say it, but you're both right. It is a lane swap angle, it appears. We have been living such a good lane swap free life today for this series. It's brought us a lot of exciting moments. We'll see if they play it standard or if they go for the swap. here in this Game 5. Remember, this is to guarantee that you are in the finals next Saturday. This is to guarantee that you're not only going to Worlds, you're not having to mess with play-ins or risk being the 3rd seed. And this is also just to go ahead and set a precedent if the other team manages to win up through the lower bracket and fight you again for that final spot.
Going to be a good one. Game 5. This series has absolutely delivered. I hope that we would have a really close, really competitive series. I wasn't sure if FlyQuest had leveled up enough that they could really take it to TL, but they absolutely have. This is anyone's game, anyone's series to take here, and it's going to be so exciting.
All right, as we wait for minions to spawn, Jatt is standing by with an interview with both coaches.
Thanks, we got Spawn and Nuke Duck. The Game 5 job done feeling as a coach right now. How do you feel, Spawn, the series has gone so far compared to expectations?
It's actually been really fun. I say to my players all the time in best of fives, this is why we actually became pro players. This is why we became coaches, you know, to actually have competitive series to be tested. So we're enjoying it.
And Nuke Duck, you guys switched it up in Game 5 after 5 red side games in a row. What's your assessment now, seeing the drafts, FlyQuest's chance of winning this Game 5?
I think it's a 50-50 still, honestly. When watching the games, I can't tell what's going to happen. I think, yeah, 50-50.
What's made this series so close, and what makes this game so close?
The series is close because they're just like a little bit better at us than some things. And then we're like, yeah, some things are just better than us. So that's why it's like we're having trouble in some situations.
Okay, Spawn, seeing the drafts as well, what's your confidence level in Game 5?
Look, we're always confident when we play the game, but I think that they probably have exactly what they want. We probably have exactly what we want. That's how Game 5s normally go, so we'll see how it goes.
Okay, if there was one thing that has to go well as a Flash goes out for Bwipo, one thing that has to go well, what is it, Spawn and Nuke Duck?
A lane swap. That would be great.
Nuke Duck?
I guess our team fighting would have to be good.
Okay, fair enough. We have so much action, though. Send it back to the casters.
Yeah, we are missing a whole lot going on right now. We got players all over the place rotating between these lanes.
And so the lane swap that I was talking about from Champion Select, we actually saw a nice little wrinkle there where they really sneakily just got off the recall from Yeon as Massu went bottom side.
Yep.
I looked at the Fog of War. He did not see the recall finish. And so the ward that Yeon was able to push down, and then the 1 second difference there, meaning he actually resets and then walks through lane for the sneak attack to top side.
Exactly. He was behind Bwipo in that brush, and that's what forces that flash out. The attack early on mid lane from CoreJJ forced Quad's flash out, and now the question is how much more can they get? We've spent a whole split talking about how damn good TL is in these lane swaps. Core is coming down here, but there's 4 members of Fly. This could be Core going down. We'll see. He's going to try to get experience here and get 2.
Yeah, level 2 now for CoreJJ. Impact also walking up. FlyQuest overloading this bottom lane very, very early. Remember, no flash Quad, no flash Bwipo.
Though.
CoreJJ will be your target here underneath the tier 1 turret, but a teleport's coming in to reinforce Team Liquid trying to stay alive here as APA joins the fight. Bwipo and Massu trying to get away. The minion wave is going to get picked up by APA.
Yep, and this is a pretty good defense here from TL. They got a lot of experience, and remember, it is a 1v0 for Yeon up on top side. Bwipo is not getting any XP here, so he is being delayed. They cancel that base. Yes, it does cost APA his flash, but again, that's all those minions dying that Bwipo is missing out on.
Yeah, and really interesting variation on the swap where they actually got so much more experience onto CoreJJ on the Rell being able to soak them. And then APA pushed the minion wave mid, so he got to come down and defend it with his teleport too. But now APA has no summoner spells after that flash.
And APA is going to stay bot. They move Impact out towards mid. Yeon stays top. We have seen kind of different evolutions of these lane swaps. If you remember, in their last series, we had one game where Core was actually bought on the Nautilus soaking XP while the AD carry laned with the top laner in top, and he ended up getting, I think, a 2-level advantage over the enemy support, which culminated in a kill in that 2v2 because Nautilus was such a difference maker in that. So it's very interesting seeing the evolutions based on the things that are changing.
Oh, nice engage coming out from CoreJJ. Sets it up for Yeon, and Team Liquid's on the board first in Game 5.
And look at this. They are not crashing the wave. They were pushing it away from him, so Bwipo was getting no experience, had no flash from that earlier play from Yeon. That was massive.
This is huge because there's not a teleport for Bwipo either for the Wukong. So he has to walk there as they're watching the minion wave slowly push away from them. That is the walk of shame for the top laners. It is. That is very painful. CoreJJ does it again.
Yeah, it's really, really good, but it all comes back to that earlier play that you talked about. Yeon getting the recall off barely, sneaks behind him level 1 in top lane. That forces the flash.
And he gets the cannon.
And he gets
what
the cannon.
can't he do?
Here it is one more time. Core looking. They know he is flashless, and Core has that flash, so it's going to be Q flash pretty much guaranteed into the W to be able to find this. As he actually just gets that long range flash W there and cleans it up. Easy peasy.
APA smiling there after he has actually ended up.
Oh, they are not looking happy about that.
Bottom lane. So even though he ended up bottom lane on the Corki, again, since he got to push it out, I think he might be able to just bridge the time here for his flash to come back up and go unpunished.
I mean, look at Bwipo versus Impact. Impact is nearly a full level ahead, has more farm, and is playing a champion that is better with low econ, right? Yeah. So that is such a devastating start here for Bwipo. And now Yeon is actually zoning him from XP. He's not just zoning him from that gold, he's zoning him from experience. Inspired has got to get up here to help him. They know it's not okay for Wukong to get nothing. If he gets dove on this stacked wave, the game is absolutely toast. He'll never be useful. So, oh wow.
3 CS, you're so clueless, bro. Bwipo and choking game 5. APA, the gloves are off.
I mean, and the biggest thing for me there is Bwipo didn't have him muted. He responded, so he actually saw that, and that can get in your head sometimes. So we'll see how Bwipo can actually handle this situation here.
And his response was not a clap back. His response was, it sucks. This really sucks.
Yeon level 6, CoreJJ level 3, looking for potentially the dive up here, but Bwipo's doing a good job defending himself. Impact level 4 underneath the bottom lane tier 1 turret, also surviving against FlyQuest. The grubs were picked up by TL. Bwipo still hanging on, still doing all right as Busio and Massu continue to crash another wave into the tier 1 bottom as the third plate is about to fall there, while the top lane second plate is about to fall for FlyQuest.
And look at the jungle levels. Massive UmTi level advantage as they go for some damage onto Bwipo.
Bwipo doing a good job not actually using the clone there, just stops to make it look like that's what was happening. But now the extra man is brought up. UmTi's ready, goes in for the blooming blows. Here comes the sleep. Bwipo taking a nap. A little bit more damage is all they need, but the turret shot's gonna make it a 1-for-1. That was critical for Bwipo to get that money.
And even though UmTi goes down and the top lane is actually what they called out in all chat, it was such a massive lead for UmTi for the Lillia, this kind of crux pick where your turbo farming just goes into overdrive. And we saw in the minimap too, APA helped him steal away another Raptors off the Maokai. So big stuff there actually to get the counter kill though. Maybe slow him down a tiny bit because that Lillia can just super take over the game. And sometimes in lane swaps, junglers getting advantages really does take over the early game.
I gotta give a lot of credit to Bwipo for how he held his clone for so long in all these situations. Core kept walking onto a melee range and be like, I'm gonna Q you, I'm gonna Q you, and he never used the clone early. And holding it for so long did help him out in this sort of a situation where he goes in the clone, some of the damage misses, it allows him to stay on UmTi just long enough to get that hit down and get that counter kill back, because I think if he doesn't get that back, he's toast.
CoreJJ could be in a bit of a rough spot now as Massu and Busio are opening fire, but Team Liquid has more men. A pathmaker from Impact, and he goes all out to drag Busio back. Yeon flies over the wall with a killer instinct, and that's a killing spree for the Kai'Sa. Massu has to flash, or he'd be UmTi food. Team Liquid, 3-1.
That's double summoner spells off of Busio, the flash off of Massu. Now it's so dangerous for the lane phase here for FlyQuest when they swap back. They actually rotated quad up to the top side, and it's TL constantly pushing the tempo here on this swap.
I just love UmTi, showing up for another gank. He says, sorry, I hate you, in chat. That's pretty funny. Here it is one more time. Core obviously, was playing with fire a little bit, but he had the squad coming in behind him. The extra members making all the difference. I like that TL say, oh, we're scared. They're trying to back up and force their opponents to chase after them. And even with this flash out, Yeon saved the killer instinct the entire time there. They get the kill. That is 3 kills early on the Kai'Sa and over a 1,000 gold lead. 9 minutes in for Yeon.
It just feels like TL are driving this game. They're the ones pushing every play here. And even that last one where you saw Impact be the one to show up and make the big play to actually find the trap. It is extra money onto guess who? Yeon. 3 kills for the Kai'Sa. Static Shiv done already. That even further benefits you when you're playing this style of constantly swapping lanes because the Shiv deletes the minions and then you get to go make the next move first.
Absolutely. In a series that has felt like it's been more about, top laners, more about the mid laners, this one could be all about Yeon. He has been slingshot forward so heavily, got the first blood, got all of these last hits, and is in an incredible position to carry here in this pivotal Game 5.
All right, the Dragon is up. The Grubs are spawning in 30 seconds. Team Liquid got the first 3. If they get all 6 in a game that is already about these macro movements and just out-rotating your opponent to get to the turrets, to be there first like we're talking about, that'll be a massive weapon for them for the rest of the match.
Static Shiv is guaranteed pressure on bottom. Like, that minion wave is totally gone. They instantly go into this Dragon. TL now start stacking the objectives after they have their early lead. Just such a good reminder of how good they are and how methodical they are after getting these early leads.
It's also worth noting there's going to be no real frontline for FlyQuest. It is going to be a Liandry's rush here for Inspired on the Maokai, so he's bringing that little splash of AP damage. And Bwipo is behind, so a bruiser behind can be very, very squishy. They're going to have to be perfect with these engages. They're going to have to be perfect with how they play out these fights, or they could get run over by TL.
Yeah, I honestly see like the win play for FlyQuest is setting up the best counter team fight because Renata and Maokai is so much better if the enemy team is diving into. TL will be forcing plays. The problem is TL are going to be so far ahead, it's hard to even deal with if you can try and set up your Maokai and Renata coverage, but that's the ideal setup.
And they're forcing right now. Yeon is going to push out mid because he can join with his ulti. This is a tough entrance for FlyQuest. They realize it. That's going to be 6 grubs. That's going to be first dragon, and that's going to be an over 1,000 gold lead. That is the benefit that TL got out of the swap.
Absolutely massive for Team Liquid. The Liandry's completed on the Lillia just melts through those neutral objectives so easily. CoreJJ in the enemy jungle just putting down some more vision. They want to keep this war machine rolling forward. They want to keep this pressure on as APA is working towards that first completed item for himself as well, and a little bit of extra plate money will go towards the cause.
And look at Yeon. He's heading down towards bot lane. They want to set up for a play onto quad. If he can get the CC, then he can join with the Killer Instinct. They're pinging for it. They're going.
Impact's already gone all out. The lightning crash from Quad as he fires back. Yeon jumps in, but he misses the missile. Quad is still trying to outplay it, but Yeon only needs one more shot to take him out. A little bit more damage is all that's required, but Quad is fast, and he gets out alive.
Slick escape from the 1v2, and the flash is traded there. Quad is able to keep the FlyQuest hopes alive. It was TL again with another one of them setting up the plays here off of the swap, trying to take advantage of Quad being on the bottom side of the map, but a really good reaction there from him.
And that's the flash off of Yeon, who has a bounty on his head, so that's a juicy target now as Core is lying in wait here in that side brush. Definitely credit to Quad as well, because he chunked out Impact so heavily when Impact went all out. It forced Yeon to use the Killer Instinct early.
Bwipo face checking the brush here as Core and APA just falling back a bit. Bwipo, aggressive clone forward, but there's nothing else to find as Busio and Bwipo need to retreat.
It's like they're bringing Maokai up as well, but it's plenty of wards here for TL to see.
Yeah. TL's looking for round 2 bot lane. Now there's no flash on Quad. Lillia's maybe going to take a crack. As we see, UmTi has snuck into that bot lane brush and could be looking.
Yeah, no flash, no ulti on Quad either. Gives him a ton of extra speed if he's got that. Impact will be happy to just clear the wave out, though. This top lane tier 1 turret is about to fall. There's only 30 seconds left on plating anyway.
So good from Quad there, not to overextend. The biggest thing when you're playing versus Team Liquid, tracking every single member you can't currently see in your lane, because they are constantly trying to go to the opposite side of the map to make their play. Really good, use there of the extra information that FlyQuest do have. Does not expose himself, and now FlyQuest actually get to start out with 2 members bottom side. They send Inspired down here, doing Gromp and watching as Quad tries to get
Oh! Bwipo firing back a little bit from earlier.
Yep. But it does cost them still 2 plates on that bot side as Impact was able to get up. And 32 gold lead, so Bwipo was made a liar by that last plate.
Nice job with the plate there from Impact. As once again, on timer, it is another Team Liquid neutral objective play. UmTi has already put in work in on the Rift Herald. 9 turret plates versus 6 was the overall final count, as that top lane tier 1 is still bleeding away to the Void Grub debuff, and Team Liquid will claim the Herald.
They're just so good at not trading you anything when they're ahead. Like Spawn said, when you're this far ahead, you shouldn't let the opponents do cross map. You shouldn't let them get anything back. So you go fight them off every single one. That's why they're the ones with the dragon. They're the ones with all 6 grubs and the Rift Herald now, which will spawn even more Void Mites when it does charge.
Exactly.
Namely, you can save that one for mid lane. It will one-shot the mid lane tower currently, so just finish up top side here. The classic, give all the money to APA. Side turret goes to him. They can save their Rift Herald for mid lane, and then take down all the outer towers in a quick chain.
So much momentum for Team Liquid in game number 5. We were wondering the whole series, where is the swap? And they break it out at the final hour. 10 seconds left on the Drake. Every single neutral objective thus far has gone Team Liquid's way, and FlyQuest is rightfully afraid to approach this one as well.
Yeah, critically though, Yeon doesn't have his flash, so if they were to look for the fight, it doesn't look like FlyQuest will, as they are not really positioning for it. Inspired just coming out of base now. That mid lane tower gonna fall, and should likely be TL just taking an unopposed dragon here on that bottom side. They're gonna get the tier 1 bot as well though, as they're pushing that in. And they get a charge on the tier 2, so they're getting so much pressure on these objectives, while FlyQuest is just trying to shovel as much gold back into Bwipo's pockets and get this Wukong into a good spot.
Yeah, I think Yeon should be able to finish up with this tower in time for any sort of counterpunch from FlyQuest. They go mid, and they will be able to get the mid minions down, but they're actually trying to bully out Team Liquid from the vision around Dragon first.
I like that TL slow played this though, because now the flash is just about back up here for Yeon, so I think that's what they were waiting for. They didn't want to go too early and risk giving up that bounty.
All right, FlyQuest ready to challenge here for the Drake. Top laners both having their teleports ready and available to join. You're going to see Impact already channeling his as the Drake is stolen away by FlyQuest, but Inspired is about to drop. He will not be bailed out. Quad gets one back onto UmTi, so both junglers die, and FlyQuest critically secure the objective.
The call from FlyQuest, well, they're not even done yet.
Impact, the Pathmaker, can escape FlyQuest's chase. Nothing more to find.
But that's always the way to go about these early dragon contests, is everybody focus immediately jumping on enemy junglers so you can get the early smite out of them. They forced a really early smite here, not even that early actually from UmTi, by putting the kill pressure on him. Inspired just goes straight for it. Yep. Immediately onto him, and then it is a little early because of all the extra pressure of the damage incoming. And they do get it, not even having Inspired have to use his smite. They just pick it up after UmTi's was used, but still 1-for-1 traded in the lives of both those junglers, because Inspired does have to commit into melee range to be able to get the lockup.
And we see, you know, UmTi obviously very squishy in that spot. He is on that Lillia. Yeah, he's got a little bit of HP. He's got the Merc Treads, but they flash in on him. The Ashe arrows there timed incredibly well to follow up immediately after that. And there was no ability for him to even get like a Q ulti or anything off before he went down.
Yeah, those are the other big benefits, obviously, of, you know, focusing the jungler. They can't combo with other stuff to make it easier. We still have to return to our story, though, of the super fed Kai'Sa, because it is still true. Yeon is 2 items now. Once you get that Rage Blade done, it is very threatening, and even in the side lanes.
Ooh, they apply the sleep. They've looked for another kill. They haven't quite found it. Team Liquid wanted the pick on Bwipo, but they aren't going to get it.
Yeah, they actually got juked there. A Yeon Killer Instinct to the clone, I believe. So actually went to the wrong one. And as a result, Bwipo creates enough space, you know, is able to flash out, but it cost him his ulti, cost him his flash. They do lose the tier 2 tower. It's still a win for TL, but maybe they could have got that kill as well.
So what is the name of the game here for FlyQuest? We've been talking about Team Liquid. We've been talking about how good their map control has been. We've been talking about how accelerated Yeon is. It's still almost a 4,000 gold lead for TL. What does FlyQuest need to do?
And we can watch this one more time. I think it was the Killer Instinct to the clone. Yes, it was. But I think it's Kobe nailed the, hit the nail on the head earlier when he's talking about it. It's about finding that one moment where TL go too far and you have that perfect counter engage, right? Where Busio's all comes across all these members from TL. The Maokai counter engage comes in, and then all of a sudden, Quad and Massu are bought the space they need to really be able to run over a fight.
It does kind of suck to have to be the ones like waiting for the punch. Because you have to take the punch, but be ready with the counter.
And you have to not be knocked out by the punch.
Exactly. You could just get knocked out with the lead of the double marksman. Look at that. Muramana transformed. APA's back on his timeline here of the early gold and early 2-item spike.
And I don't know about you guys, but if we're going shot for shot, I want to be the one who punches first. So, you know, Team Liquid do have that ability. They are proactive, and Core often makes those hits hurt. His engages are so explosive. He is so well known for that. And, you know, you have to be able to survive that initial engage from TL before you have a hope of being able to flip it on its head.
Team Liquid are just continuing that pressure. Now onto the tier 2 in mid lane, as Inspired and Massu want to step up, try to protect this turret, try to make sure they don't continue bleeding out in this mid game. 10 seconds until Baron's live on the map, 90 seconds until the next Drake spawns. Luckily for FlyQuest, at least the Drakes aren't a point of major pressure this game, but they've still got to deal with TL, always in their faces, always in their jungle, always fighting for vision.
Yeah, the Drakes aren't pressure, but everywhere else on the map is pressure. They have all 3 lanes pushed in at the secondary towers of FlyQuest and whittling away on the health. Bottom tower already gone for the secondary turret. Mid tower very close to falling. TL, methodical objective taking continues.
And this is where it's so frustrating to play against TL, because you start to look at the map. You look at this quadrant, take it over. So, okay, we will be disengaging, so we're going to be okay. They have already moved in on that bot side, and they're taking over this entire quadrant of the jungle. Now they're moving up that ward line.
Okay, they shoot out the arrow going after Yeon. They'll get the cleanse out of him. CoreJJ blocks up most of the Maokai ulti. FlyQuest at least hold on to their tier 2 for now, but it takes them a lot of resources to push Team Liquid back.
And that says this dragon is totally gone.
Yeah.
No Ashe Arrow and no Maokai ultimate. You definitely do not face check into a team that is ahead of you already without those key CCs available to you. So TL are going to take from them everything. Look at how they also take away first all the jungle camps. The Lillia continues to punish.
And look at the inventory of that Lillia. The Seeker's unbroken. The flash up. There is so much explosive potential. You already touched on CoreJJ a little bit earlier, but the fact that then you can follow it up or even lead ahead of it with a flash Lillia sleep, Team Liquid is very scary right now. FlyQuest has got to have coordination to stand any sort of a chance.
Yeah, and I mean, the Lillia is nearly 50 CS ahead now. You know, it does have 1400 gold in pocket, so Zhonya's is on the horizon. So it's going to be one of those situations where, great, we force the Seekers, and then the next fight, he has Zhonya's, and he's going to have to do it again.
Meanwhile, Quad, who was the massive carry for FlyQuest in the previous game, does have his 2 items as well on the Zeri off of his single kill, and they have him constantly pushing these side waves as well, so he's really keeping pace on as well as the CS is concerned. It's just that the objectives now always should be forfeit to TL. They get to control the rest of the map, and that includes some of your jungle camps. So we'll continue to put this Maokai a little bit further and further behind. He's trying to do the like super cheapo on sale tank items of the ruby crystals that you love, Flowers.
That's 3 of them. That's a lot of ruby crystals.
It is. It's a lot. He can fit another one in there if he wants to when he goes back to base. But FlyQuest, you know, are posturing here around mid lane, looking for some sort of an angle. It's just they're going to go now.
Oh, they want the engage, and they found a beautiful pick on the APA. The shutdown credit over to Inspired. FlyQuest fighting back 22 minutes into the game.
Inspired, just a heads-up play there. Flash in on the Maokai, onto APA. The Corki down, and they make the move quickly.
They're going for Baron. They're going to try to do it, but this is so risky here.
Honestly, I think they have to turn off it.
Yeah, they have no real tank, man. I just don't think you can actually afford to do it. When it's just a Leandri's Maokai tanking that up, you're going to get so low before they even have that real fight start.
Yeah, it might be a chance to try to force Team Liquid to engage into you so that you can use your Maokai, so that you can use your Renata, those counter ultis we were talking about earlier, but it's still so dicey because if you lose that, game's done.
Yeah, and like they use the Maokai in going for the kill and the Ashe Arrow, so it really does take away some of the tools, plus you're then putting yourself inside this Baron pit, which can be a death sentence. Versus a Rell engage, CoreJJ definitely could find them. UmTi also has Flash, so with Flash both on CoreJJ and UmTi, it is very scary.
I will say, it's actually so big that FlyQuest got that early dragon, because if we were going to Soul here in 3.5 minutes, That would be so tough for FlyQuest. They would have no choice but to fight, because if you give over Ocean Soul to an armor-stacking K'Sante with a full physical damage comp, I just don't think you're ever killing him.
Yeah, it would be incredibly difficult for them to manage, as FlyQuest are once again trying to push back into neutral territory and establish some vision control over the river.
I want to see if Bwipo can bring this Wukong over to actually accomplish like a kill for them. He's got Trinity Force and Cleaver here for the Wukong. So since the beginning of the game, it was a little bit rough, but he has done well farming right back up, and him being another big offensive threat for the team fight here. The Wukong ultimate, as well as the burst damage that comes through with the Trinity Force build, with the shredding of your armor from the Black Cleaver on top of it, definitely could be the difference maker. You know, the first time we finally see him off something besides the Renekton.
Yeah, and was put into a really tough spot, you know, from the level 1 here, as TL gonna likely collect this.
Yep, they got the tier 2. Inspired and FlyQuest trying to lock him up. Bwipo makes his entry into the fight, but it's not enough here just yet. Counterattack from Team Liquid. Explodes Inspired. And with the enemy jungler dead, Team Liquid's got control over the rift.
Yeah, that's a Leandry's Maokai if I ever saw one, man. He went down in a hurry there. The initial engage looked explosive from FlyQuest, but now TL has no reservations about starting up this Baron. They're going to force the hand here of FlyQuest. Do they give it up?
All right, Busio will be the first one to walk towards them. TP looking to bring the full might of FlyQuest back in here as Bwipo's ready to rejoin. Baron's already down to 4K. There is no jungler for FlyQuest's side. Massu is poked down to death's door as CoreJJ re-engages on Bwipo, and now he's going to try to find his exit. Bowling ball misses from Lillia as Bwipo is sacrificed. Team Liquid get the Baron, and they get Bwipo on the side.
That is a big one. FlyQuest now, they have to go into full defense for a long time. Massu's Ashe arrow was like 1 second away from coming up, and you saw Busio go for the flash handshake. We'll actually get to see it again here in this replay, but they wanted to use this tower as a little bit of bait to draw him in, and you saw Bwipo actually got both the flash from APA as well as the cleanse and ultimate out of Yeon initially, but look at Inspired. Now you see him, now you don't. The Kai'Sa damage there, actually insane as they just pop him. It is 3-item Kai'Sa. It is Yeon here with the Nashers on top of the Rageblade and Shiv that he started with. 5 kills for him. That damage is just too much.
And quietly, APA's on 3 items now as well. He's got his rapid fire done. We can see UmTi's actually working towards his 3rd item. He has Zhonya's that's ready and willing to be used. And Impact is getting very tanky this game. You can see all the damage put out by those TL carries. It was a nice attempt from Bwipo and Inspired, but Quad and Massu weren't connected.
Wasn't enough, but Bwipo is looking for APA yet again. Beautifully done from FlyQuest. They get the kill on the Team Liquid mid laner, and they don't lose anybody just yet in the process. CoreJJ making a 2 for nothing for Fly on the defense.
Wait, there could be some objective bounties here if they try and push. I mean, the death timer for APA is an extra like 10 seconds over the dragon, and he does have teleport. So it might be a tiny bit risky here since TL are so far ahead. But honestly, you need some objective bounties to really slingshot back into this game. Bottom tower is very low, and Dragon could be one. But here's a look in the replay at the punish. Since Bwipo burned APA's flash in the last play, he is calling to immediately re-engage on him with Massu with the arrow.
Yeah, and Masu's able to find that. Bwipo goes in with the clone flash E ult. And it means FlyQuest get that dragon. So again, TL that wanted to be the ones, you know, pushing towards this soul have been pushed back because of that pick. It was so massive that they were able to get it.
And they're going to leave him, Bwipo down there for another objective bounty. This is at the cost of a hard push mid, though. Yeah. So FlyQuest leaving Bwipo to get that objective bounty on bottom side means their mid inhibitor tower instantly goes down. Baron has 30 seconds left, so that is one more minion wave for TL to push with.
Yeah, it could be top as well.
And it's so easy for Team Liquid to hard force these objectives when you have K'Sante because of the Pathmaker providing the CC and vulnerability. He's the front door, and FlyQuest can't kick it in if they want to try to break in there and save their structures.
Sometimes you just make the call. We cannot win the fight, even at the defense of an inhibitor tower, even at you know, this area where we do have like the walls to our advantage. With Baron buff, we aren't going to win that any day of the week, so just try and get your objective bounty down there on the opposite side, and all of that money going into Bwipo. He buys the Brutalizer and another longsword, so he wants to be more threatening on his dives when he goes for APA and Yeon.
Yeon's got the Seekers now finished as well, so he's going to have that stasis available. UmTi has to have a lot of gold in pocket. He hasn't gone back for a while, so he's got another 1,200. They're really starting to close in on these additional items being finished up, but of course, Quad is keeping pace with APA. He's on 3 items. Massu's on 3 items, has an IE. The carries on FlyQuest are strong, but it's just they have no front line really, so their engage has to be perfect or they're going to get instantly killed by TL.
Maokai just needs some resistances. He's so invested into health right now with the Warmogs.
Ruby Crystal.
Yeah, he's got another Ruby Crystal on top of his Warmogs and Leandries, so does have the good like baseline of health, but the resistances do go a long way once you have so much health with how that works for defense. So we'll see. I think FlyQuest have made the call that with the second dragon, we actually bought ourselves a lot of time in this game. And all we have to do now is repel supers in mid lane, which is the easiest one to actually repel. So they just want to play defense for a while and take the time that they bought themselves by delaying Dragon Soul to farm up the rest of the members.
You're talking about time, buying time on a macro level. Also, Yeon can now buy time on a micro level. The Seeker's arm guard completed for the Kai'Sa. I think this is huge. Dealing with Bwipo, we've been praising him for being able to come back into the game after the very rough start, the threat of the damage he's going to have onto the back line if he keeps finding these angles, but the Zhonya's is such a perfect tool to deal with it.
Yeah, it's really strong for sure, but another issue here for FlyQuest is you can turtle up all you want and you can say, you know what, we're not going to come out until Baron. Well, TL does not have to sit back and do nothing, right? And that's why they're already starting to move in. They're already starting to take over vision in this entire area to really make it difficult to even check forward towards Baron, towards that next objective. They actually farmed both enemy quadrants of the jungle. Yeah. So the gold lead actually extended during that time, even though they're being funneled more gold through those super minions.
And nobody from FlyQuest can face check, but they do have Hawkshot at the very least. So they have some extra vision checking tools on top of the double blue orbs that they have saved up here for this Baron, for this very purpose.
They're going to need every tool in the toolbox to try to deal with what Team Liquid has right now. 6,500 gold lead, 30 seconds on the clock until Baron spawns. We already saw the vision toggle of how dark Summoner's Rift is right now for FlyQuest, and things are only going to get scarier from here.
That pink in the side lane brush there from that APA had in top lane was actually really nice because that can catch some of these, following plays that we've seen FlyQuest look for before. They actually caught Impact out with that one where they trailed through top lane.
Yeah.
So they're trying to account for that, and it's a pretty sneaky ward.
Team Liquid, all right, the Baron has spawned, and there's the immediate Hawk shot, followed by the immediate UmTi doesn't care, he's going to start it up anyway. Honestly, Lillia and Kai'Sa can do this plenty fast with just the two of them, and right now, that's the name of the game, as Core and APA now ready to join up. Impact and Core are just going to keep everybody from FlyQuest away. The Maokai ulti already sounded off as Impact's here on the front. The Baron is already secured. Impact flashes away to keep himself alive as CoreJJ with a crash down defensively. Impact still running, Quad still gunning. Beautiful engage coming out from Bwipo, and Impact is down. Meanwhile, Inspire's been traded back, but FlyQuest may have just found their angle. Yeon is still running, but APA is firing right on back. Bwipo with the bailout trying to stay alive, but it ain't gonna work. Team Liquid is just too far ahead.
The re-engage from CoreJJ and APA. They take them down, and they're going straight for the base, Flowers.
APA using the teleport to get into the enemy base as fast as possible. The ace, the death timers are far too long. FlyQuest put up one hell of a fight. They went the distance with Team Liquid, but the best team in the LCS is staying on top all the way to the finals.
170 days since Team Liquid has been taken down in the LCS, and it will not be today that they will be defeated. They'll have a chance to defend their title in the grand finals next Saturday at the YouTube Theater. FlyQuest is going to be there. Whether or not they meet him in the grand finals or not is yet to be decided, but what an exciting series between these two teams.
All right, the series was incredible. It's time now to join Jatt on stage for an interview.
It's APA, UmTi, join me for the interview. Congratulations on the win. You can share the mic with UmTi. UmTi, I got to ask, You did get to play the Lillia in Game 5. How did it feel to play the carry?
So when I was playing Maokai and Zeri, yeah.
So we knew UmTi was a better jungler the entire series. We were locking away Lillia just because we're scared for FlyQuest. And then we knew Game 5 we had to lock in a little bit. So that's why we picked UmTi Lillia. And you can just witness the complete jungle gap.
UmTi, care to elaborate?
I think Yeon just said everything. I'm not going to say anything. Thank you, Yeon.
Okay, APA, also a little bit of banter towards Bwipo in that 5th game. Do you want to talk a bit about that rivalry?
Well, everybody else muted me, and he was the only person responding. So that's the only reason.
That's awesome to hear. It's still been the entire summer split without Team Liquid dropping a series. How confident does that make you going into the finals?
To be honest, I think our meta read this week was kind of bad. So the fact that we won the series just gives me so much confidence going into finals.
And UmTi, what's your confidence level heading into finals to try and win back-to-back titles?
So I think we win with the really coupon right now. So Yeon and me confident is going up and up, so we can play every comp. So, guys, let's see at the finals.
Amazing stuff. Setting up finals weekend, you guys are in the finals. You'll await the winner now of FlyQuest versus C9. Any preference for who you'd rather face, UmTi?
Who cares?
You know, actually, tough question.
Oh, sorry, or 100 Thieves. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves plays Cloud9 tomorrow to see who makes it.
Yeah.
Any preference of the 3?
At the 3?
Who cares, UmTi?
Yeah. You know, we have a story with the River and Quid, no, Ian? Let's go to 100 Thieves. Let's go 100 Thieves.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. Congratulations on the win. We'll see you in finals weekend.
Yeah, thank you on the...
Appreciate it. Any final words?
No, just thank you, Honda.
Okay, very good. Team Liquid, champions of this series. Let's see if they can repeat as champions on Saturday next week. Let's send it to the desk to break out the day.
Get him out of the way. Get him out of the way.
Apart, right?
Yeah, they're trying their hardest. It's not going to happen.
I don't know what's happening here.
Yes, we're rebelling against the production. But honestly, congratulations to Team Liquid. That was a hell of a series. And on top of that, a great interview.
I know everyone liked the standard lanes, but the Game 5 lane swap was really awesome.
Yes.
I was so pumped.
Yes.
That was really, really cool to see. Also great to catch up with APA and UmTi at the end of the series. They seemed like... I'm glad that UmTi, because obviously we've talked about him as a facilitative jungler, right?
Yeah.
You guys did not see him when he was on like Jin Air and KT and trying to do all these like crazy sneak plays with the Lee Sin. So it was nice to see him lock in the Lillia. They bring out the swap. Really nice Game 5 from TL.
How funny was it, by the way? I'm going to watch this back when we get home, where it's just like, how did it feel to play the Lillia? And he's about to, he's like, no, wait a minute. Ian's like, APA is like, let me take this. Let me take this.
That's mid-jungle synergy.
Exactly. They're just gassing each other up. Everyone at home needs an APA.
True.
Exactly.
Or an UmTi.
Or an UmTi.
Depending. If you're APA, you need
Gotta
the
hype
UmTi.
each other up.
So we have a player of the series to award.
Who do you think it is?
I know who I voted for.
I also know who I voted for.
The player of the series is CoreJJ!
Bang!
I think even in the game that they lost, I thought his center roots were really good. Brings out the Rell in Game 5. The Renata, I actually thought both him and Busio played well.
Yes.
They especially had really high highs throughout this series. And then, you know, the center pick was important.
It was. It felt like every pick that he had, I thought a lot of the team fights were decided by him. Of course, in this game that you were watching, it was like both the Maokai ulti, then comes the Renata ulti. The dive that happened bot side. There was actually a lot of instances where I felt like the supports mattered intensely and they were consistent throughout the entire series. And a lot of people don't have a lot of respect for the sports. We're bringing it back.
Yeah, and I mean, Core has also, Team Liquid themselves have talked about this. Core has been really instrumental in some of those lane swap things that they've been practicing, right? Because both he and Impact have seen a lot of this before.
Yes.
And have kind of been guiding their younger teammates through it. And so, yeah, congrats to Core. Congrats to Team Liquid. Let's take a look again at that bracket, as Jatt almost forgot about 100 Thieves, but they play C9 tomorrow to decide who our final team will be going into championship weekend.
They're the sneaky underdogs right now. They're going to be going up against Cloud9. That's the one I'm watching intently. You're right. That's a world qualifier decider. That's a finals weekend decider. That one is the one that I'm watching out for, of course. I mean, we're all watching out for it. That's going to happen tomorrow.
We're going to be here tomorrow.
We're going to be here.
Do you want to leak any of your predictions?
Look, I was just hyping them up. We all know. I was just hyping up, all right?
You know who else had a really good day? Quad. He came from FlyQuest Challengers, and they actually take on Supernova. Right now, they're trying to make a lower bracket run here after getting dropped down. And Supernova, they did eliminate my personal faves of the split, Blue Otter, yesterday. So check that out after
He's making his charge to the finals.
That's true.
That's true. I liked what Supernova was doing yesterday.
Yeah, it was really nice, even though obviously the team I was rooting for lost.
That's true.
Sad. That is it for us. We'll be back tomorrow with C9 versus 100 Thieves at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Thank you so much for joining us today. C9 and 100 Thieves battling for a final spot in the finals. Raz is going to throw this at the camera, I think.
Actually, he's just waving goodbye.
Oh, okay.
There we go. No violence today.
That's a lot less violent than usual.
See you guys.
Send it over to NACL.
He's looking for flash.
Watch him move.
Okay, I'm offside. Free.
I'm probably gonna die.
I'm still low.
Watch Renekton.
Yeah.
I should be fine.
I think we should win. Through look. My W2.
Play with impact.
I change bomb. Okay. I'm ulting Kalista.
Just go.
Kalista.
Kalista not assaulted.
Azir just flash in.
Don't flash Kalista. Kalista's ulted in. Nice job. Next.
Yeon, pick up her. Baby, come. I ulti. Hey, I ulti.
Move.
Come slowly. I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I'm looking at Azir side. Azir Junior. I'm fine. Azir no flash. I'm fine.
Azir no flash.
We turret. End the game.
Good job, guys.
Nice job.
But this might look good. I'm flanking.
No. It's good. Really good.
I'm flanking. Yeah. We killed them all here. We killed them all.
flash.
Yeah, kill them. Kill from.
Yeah, I can flash kill, but
I'm going Corki. Don't use us, Corki. I stunned the thing. He might be.
Just finish it.
No. We killed him. I'm so strong, guys. Just play your own game, okay? Play your own game.
That's fine.
Play your own game.
I will jump for Maokai.
MF no flash. I'm fine. I have Starak. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Cleanse no place.
I'm fine. MF no flash, no cleanse.
Yeah. I will get them back.
Okay, I look Corki, guys.
I saw.
Yeah.
Move.
Careful, I'm on the flash. Yeah. Ulti. I block.
Yeah. Renekton.
I'm fine. Go Renekton. We can go better after.
Yeah. Watch this.
Ace low. I go easy.
Penta.
I'm pushing it. Keep going. Can you? Focus it. We can.
Penta kill. Let's go.
Let's go mid.
Okay.
Okay, then let's walk up. I'm going. I'm out. I'm done for now. Zeri kills everyone.
Help there.
Nice. Corki, no flash, Corki. She's killing everyone. Pentakill.
I got his, squad got his.
Nice one, God.
Nice. Power wave. Block them, Maokai. Don't get something. I need out. Play together. Play through. Look at Maokai side. Zeri jumping. I need help, please.
I'm fine. Hey, Zeri, Wukong.
Wukong. Zeri, no. Coming.
Watch you, Zeri.
I can't
Zeri.
Nice. Kill them all.
Wukong dead. Hey, I press.
We can. GG, nice.
Good top.
Good job.
A Jungle Canyon, UmTi.
Jungle Gab, let's go.
UmTi, Jungle Gab.